All right, let's get started. We'll stand for the pledge, followed by a short invocation and then the roll call.
I like the flag, Ken. Good job.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for the opportunity to get together to discuss and deliberate Township's business on behalf of our residents. We ask that your guidance to do the right and appropriate things. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, Joe.
Mr. Bryant.
I'm here.
Ms. Leaf.
Here.
Mr. Beck.
Here.
I move approval of the agenda.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Leaf.
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. I move approval of the minutes. Let me take these one at a time. I move approval of the minutes for January 5th, 2021.
Second.
Okay. I want to discuss that for a minute. I saw a draft of this and I made two corrections to it. One action was tabled in the minutes, but it was not tabled. We acted on it and voted on it. And that was the $6,000 a year to Milford Fire Department through our fire department. We did not table that item, was in the minutes. And there's something to do with sequencing and when we closed out the meeting. I worked on those both with Kim over the weekend, and they should be in the final minutes when we put them on the website. Okay, with that in mind, we can go ahead and approve the minutes as revised. That sound right, Jeff?
That's correct.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Ms. Leaf.
Aye.
I move approval of the minutes for the special meeting January 19th, 2021.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Ms. Leaf.
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
We will now hear the fiscal officer's report for January.
We were unable to balance the books for 2019-20. We have an accountant who's currently working on the issue. And until he solves that issue, there's no way for us to report to you accurate fund balances. So you're not going to get those tonight. We have a meeting scheduled Monday, February 8th with the forensic auditor who's wrapping up her final work, and we'll get a full report in the near future from her. The conversion from the old OTAS accounting software to the new UAN software is proceeding. Yesterday, the program was installed on my computer and Kim LaPence's computers, and I think this accessibility for us is going to speed up the learning curve for getting used to the new software program. On our bank balances, we still have bank accounts in both PNC and Fifth Third currently. The PNC operating account at this time contains $1,776,297.83, and the HRA account that we opened there has $28,841.23. We have to wait till warrants that were written in December to clear the PNC account before I can go and close that. On our Fifth Third operating account has $890,775.09, And we have an HRA account there also that contains $26,412.53. We no longer have a credit card account. The money market funds were blended into the Fifth Third operating account. That's all I have.
Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none.
Nope.
We'll mark the fiscal officer's report as received. Okay, I have no presentations for tonight. We have no public hearings for tonight. I move approval of disbursements. Warrants number 78,933 through 78,987 in the amount of $710,953.95.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. Okay, we'll now hear reports in sequence from the personal law director.
Thank you. No report tonight.
Thank you. Lieutenant Carr.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Just one thing I wanted to touch on real quick. On January 15th, the Sheriff's Office implemented a new records management system. I won't go into the nuts and bolts of it because I'm not a computer expert by any means, but this is a web-based application that's going to allow our officers to initiate their offense reports via the computer from the field, and then they'll be moved around electronically. So obviously, it's going to really streamline how our paperwork flows and do a much better job of getting stuff where it needs to be quickly. There have been a few little growing pains and some kinks to work out, but ultimately I think it's going to be really good for us. It'll really allow us to have a better handle on a lot of the data we're collecting and utilize it in a more effective way.
Are we going to be trained in any way, shape, or form, or have access to that system, or just what do you think is going to happen from here?
Essentially, right now we're just dealing with the reporting end. You have a theft from your business and you need a theft report. We're getting that worked out, but eventually it'll allow us to really analyze trends, data sets, things like that. But that's a little farther down the road.
Okay, we won't have access to the system. We will still contact you and you access it to get information that we need.
Yes. So
Okay.
you or any citizen that wants an offense report will contact the Bureau of Records, but this will allow for much quicker access to reports.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else?
No, nothing else to report.
Okay. Chief Huber?
Yes, thank you, Board. I have three things for this evening. One is that you do have my written report, so I stand ready to answer any questions relative to that. Also, I wanted to add that the summer safety camp at the Brave Park is back on here for June the 14th through the 17th. Our residents are able to go to our website to sign up for that. I believe Luann has the link. She's going to be putting that on the township's website as well. So that's June the 14th through the 17th at 9 a.m. in the morning till 11:30 in the morning at home of the Brave Park. Had been, as Mr. Bryant recalls, there had been some discussion on some township resident forums, I guess, that a lot of our residents wanted the safety camp to return. So we're going to try it this year again and do it at home of the Brave and see if we can garner enough interest to continue that program.
Okay.
Also, I have just at some point, I need some direction from the board on how you wish me to proceed or not to proceed in the arena of the preemption. I sent the board some information that you had asked for at your planning session. So however you wish for me to proceed with that, I believe the city council approved their end of it at their last meeting. So if you can just give me direction at some point on how you wish for me to proceed with that.
Okay.
Also, for Mr. Grossi, I did have contact with the homeowner on Daniel Street in Camp Dennison today. Apparently, the information that the tenant had given us as to who owned the home was incorrect. So we have that correction. That letter has gone to him and his insurance company. He's going to call his insurance company in the morning and make sure that they comply with the ORC on that as well. So we should be getting something on that very soon.
Okay, Chief, is that relative to insurance that we hold in escrow for a rebuild?
Yes, it is. The
Okay.
ORC and township resolutions require that that they produce a bond and or deliver a percentage of the loss to the township physical officer, so that should the building not be rebuilt, and it would be the requirement of the township to raise the building, that they would have those funds available to do that, and it would not be the taxpayers' funds that had to pay that.
Yeah, I think my recollection is the last time we had to do that was probably on Hawthorne Court, was it?
Yeah, Hawthorne and
Vincent
yeah,
years
and-
ago.
yeah, and we did one up off of Humphrey as well.
Withers?
Yes, up
Yes,
on Withers as well. So we try to stay after those to make sure that the insurance company does their due diligence and provides that that bond to the township.
Okay. All right. I was going to, if you hadn't brought up the light preemption device questions that we had in our work session, I wanted to thank you for the very timely response. We were trying to collect those questions in a list and get to you to get answers, and you preempted us pretty much by watching the video of the meeting and answering all the questions and sending it to us in an email form. So if there's anyone out there that wants access to that, all they have to do is ask, and we'll provide the list of your answers to those questions to them. Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Anything
That's all
else?
No, that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Director of Public Works is not there tonight. Any committee reports? Hearing none. Any other? Hearing none. Let's proceed. Open the meeting now. If there's anyone out there that wishes for us to hear from residents, let's do so. Anyone wish to speak? Hearing none. Are there any questions with respect to correspondence that was attached in our packet? Hearing none, we'll proceed. Events and meetings. President's Day holiday. The building, the township offices will be closed Monday, February 15th, 2021, and for President's Day holiday. The Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, next meeting will be March 1st, 2021 at 7 p.m. via Zoom. Our regular trustees next meeting will be March 2nd, 2020 at 7 p.m. via Zoom. The Great Easter Egg Hunt is currently scheduled at Home of the Brave Park on Saturday, March 27th, 2021 at 11:30 a.m. And I believe that's all I have on my list. Anything else?
Can I interrupt you?
Okay.
Can I interrupt you?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Can I interrupt you on that? Can you guys tell me, did you guys still want to have the Easter egg hunt, or how do you want us to proceed with that? Do you want to do another?
It's the kind of thing I think you have to plan in advance that you're going to do. I think we're interfering. Do we have something that says,
I forgot to talk about that.
Kim, you're breaking up, at least in my machine here. Anybody else here?
I know.
Bits and pieces.
I just got a pop-up. It says from CJ Carr. I guess he's unmuted, and did he want to speak or just what, CJ? You've been trying to talk. You are now unmuted. Hello? Okay, CJ, I'm going to proceed with the rest of our meeting, and we'll give you another opportunity after our new business to come back and hearing from residents if we can get your situation resolved by then. Rob, is there anything that you can do to help him off-site? Okay. CJ, can you hear us? You were, yes,
Yeah.
okay. He typed the answer yes. He will reboot. Okay, is that satisfactory that we put you off? Okay, thank you. Got an yes. All right. Next up is old business. I move approval of resolution G 2021-02, resolution approving an independent contractor agreement with Mike Howell as custodian for the Camp Dennison Nature Trail and dispensing with the second reading.
Second.
Any other discussion? We tabled this last month and brought it back as a contractor position. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
New business. Discussion concerning Seven Gables Park play structure and trail replacement. And I believe, Jody, you requested this be on the agenda.
I did. I want to start talking about replacing the place that I know if we start talking now, hopefully by the fall, we can get something done. So I just want to throw it out there. I took a walk there the other day and I have some ideas. It's awful loud. So I'd like to plant some more. I'd like to plant evergreens along that path right where it hits Montgomery Road. And I'd like to start working on that playset because that playset is so old and there's a lot of concrete. And I'm kind of worried about kids falling. So I'd like to start moving in that direction if that's okay with everybody else. I know that we're working on a grant. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I had like 3 questions and that was one of them.
Yeah, Bill's working on getting a grant. So that's one question, the other 2.
Okay, and repaving or improving the paving of that trail is on that list?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of needs a lot of work, and I think it needs to be done this year, and I'm willing to take that on. And it's a nice park, don't get me wrong. We have beautiful parks in Symmes Township, but I think it can be enhanced in a little bit. So I'd like to work on that if that's okay.
Well, I'd like for whatever you come up with to certainly come for review in a work session or otherwise. And what was I going to say? Oh, one other thought I had is if I were to get in touch with Matthew 25, who really ships and donates equipment to all over the world, would anybody object if they could take our used park equipment and donate it to whoever else wanted it?
I think that's a good idea.
You too.
I know there may be some restrictions because we donate it somewhere in this country because of safety and so on. But if they were willing to take it and donate it to some other country where they're trying to rehab areas and so on, I'd like to see if they can take it.
No, I think that's awesome. So I just want to throw it out there. If you guys have any ideas or anybody out there has any ideas that they want to do for the park, I think now's the time to let us know what you're interested in doing.
Okay, now, Kim, I recall that we had some money set aside for new equipment in that park this year.
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
All right, thank you. Anything else? All right, next item. I move a discussion concerning the removal of invasive species at Mead Park. Once again, Jody, you brought that up. We talked about it in our work session.
Yeah.
You want to kick it off?
Yeah, I wrote up a small paragraph about why invasive species needs to be removed from our parks, and I'm actually going to put it in one of our story walk boxes if that's okay, because I think we need to clear some areas out because invasive species is bad for the area. We need to plant native species. It kills trees. It kills the natural species that we have. So we do need to remove it. So I was hoping that we could start not a huge section, just little sections at a time so we can get people used to the idea of the look, because the look is quite different. As Phil knows from working up there on Hopewell, he had to deal with that. So I do want to put a nice little paragraph of why we're removing it. So the people that walk me, because remember, park usage is up 80% now because of COVID. And I see a lot of people, and I've been telling them that we're going to start working on killing some of the honeysuckle, and everyone that I talk to is totally understands. I want to make sure the people that I'm not talking to, they understand why we're removing it. And it's bad for our environment. It's not good. So, okay.
I'm going to make the same suggestions that I made in the work session, and that is because we have had a grant from ODNR, I'd like for them to be knowledgeable of what we want to do and see if they support it, which I think they will. But they can perhaps give us some guidance since they gave us some money for that park.
Okay. So
Okay.
Kim, with Bill, maybe contact the gentleman that we had from Hopewell and have him give us like an estimate, or we can meet him and just show him. We'll just do small sections at the time.
I agree wholeheartedly with doing it in small sections because I think it can be quite different from what people were expecting.
Right.
And I'd rather they raise the flag over a small area before we went too far and did a tremendous area. I do know when we put that trail in there for with ODNR funding, they didn't want us to remove logs and any trees and everything that fell down. They just wanted us to move them out of the way so that they wouldn't fall on the trail as a safety issue. But they certainly didn't want us removing, cutting up any of those trees and so on.
Yeah, but not honeysuckle. Honeysuckle.
I understand.
And once in the next year or two, I think up at Hopewell, people will start appreciating it because there's going to be a whole bunch of native species that are going to start popping up because you cleaned up the area. So they're going to see a change. It might take a year or two to do. I know Phil wants to plant some native species up there, which I think is a great idea. And I think looking back, they'll appreciate that we did.
Jody, could we put your paragraph in the e-newsletter?
Oh, sure. Sure.
Just to blast it out.
Alan send me all the information. So it's nice. It's a nice paragraph.
Joanne Allen?
Yeah.
She's on our beautification committee?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Anything else? I think it's, if I interpret the mood of the board, we're interested in proceeding with this in a small scale basis, at least to start, and educating the public is kind of the go ahead that you have right now.
Okay.
Is that acceptable, Phil?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. I move to accept a donation of $3,000 from Energy Alliances and Constellation for the yoga program. What's this, the third or fourth year that they've done that for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
Any other discussion?
No, just thank you. I think it's a great way to sponsor. I mean, we people that love yoga in the park. I think it does community.
Do we, as a matter of course, send a thank you for their donation?
No, we've never sent a thank you note. I mean, I correspond with Rich via email, and then what we do is we get a sign, and then Luann and Jody put it out whenever they do yoga, saying like sponsored by.
Sponsored by, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and I announce it too. This is a grant sponsored by.
Okay. Anything else? We need a roll call.
Ms. Lease.
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. Okay. I move to allow the administrator to advertise for the road paving project for 2021.
Second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Discussion?
Jack.
I have some questions as usual. Are we on our multi-year schedule for the road paving program? And if so, what are the areas being considered for 2021?
I'll be right back. Let me get my dog. Jack, you can't yell.
In the legal ad that I put together, it lists all the roadways, but Calumet Farms is the number one like subdivision that we're doing this year. And then I think Bill's got on there Kemper Woods.
Okay. Since we take in 500 to 600,000 a year in that levy, how much are we anticipating spending this year? 550, 600?
Well, if we just do Calumet Farms and Kemper Woods and a couple other streets, it's like 385, 400,000.
That's all?
Yeah, but if we add
that's
in
impressive.
Kemper Road, yeah, if we add in Kemper Road like we would like to, it'll probably add about 300,000 to it.
But that's a
I'm
county
still
road.
trying to get an answer. Right, I'm still trying to get an answer from the county engineer of whether they're going to participate or not. So I added it in the ad as an alternate, and then we can figure out what we want to do from there.
Okay. I would like to
Chances are,
state
I don't think they're going to, but
I would like to state that Ken Bryant is one of the trustees, lives on Calumet Way. And I can tell you that it was 2005, 2004 or 5 when it was last, about 17 years. So that's kind of rule of thumb as to how long it's taking us in this program to get all our residential streets repaved.
But
It seems to work.
yeah, the only thing we need to comment, and if we find a street that needs it before that year mark, we move it up on the list.
That's the proviso for when the plan was put together. I think we had to do Harbor Town down in off of Lebanon Madeira Road. Harbor? No, not Harbor Town. Kemper. What's the one, Jody, that goes in off of Lebanon Madeira Road down near the Rossi station or whatever, the fireworks place?
Morgan's Trace.
Morgan's
Yeah.
Trace, yeah.
Yes. We've had to do streets down there because they deteriorated more rapidly because of the under paving. And we've moved those up into prioritization, which is probably why Calumet's taken like 17 years to get back to it.
Calumet's, it's still in good shape. I mean, it needs to be done, but it's not past due. You know what I'm saying? It's still, I mean, there's not a lot of deterioration.
I think you might be surprised if you walked it, that there are places near the curbing that are holes in the ground that we could use some patching, and that's why it's on the list, I think. But okay, we're not dealing with that. I just wanted to know where we were standing on our cycle, and I wanted to give some feedback that it's like 17 years.
right on schedule.
Okay. Okay. We'll let Bill and the others know, or well, let them guide what needs to be quoted. We need a vote. Roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Okay. I move approval of resolution G 2021-12, resolution approving an employment agreement with Kimberly A. Lipinski as Symmes Township Administrator pursuant to ORC section 505.031 and dispensing with the second reading.
Second.
Okay. I would like to table this motion because we as trustees have not had an opportunity to meet in executive session and discuss attachment A or exhibit A. And I'd like to say that we're going to do that at the end of this meeting tonight via separate chat room.
Okay.
Agreed.
So do I have a second on tabling?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Tabled, aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay, Mrs. Lipinski, we will discuss this and we will get back to you outside. I don't think we'll take action after tonight's meeting, but we'll come sit down and talk with you. Or I will, I guess, if I'm up for talking about it with you. Jody and I will talk about that.
I'm working on her evaluation.
Okay. All right. Phil and I would probably like to have some input into that also. Okay. Next item. Jeff, I'm sorry. We voted to table that killed all further discussion of 2021-12.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right.
Right. No further action is needed at this time until you bring it back.
Okay. Thank you. I move approval of resolution G 2021-13. A resolution authorizing acceptance of grass mowing bids and awarding contracts to River Oaks in the amount of $65,850, Pro Works in the amount of $18,600, Tyndall's Lawn in the amount of $39,000, and Brian Christian in the amount of $28,500.
Second.
Okay. These all went out for multiple bids, and these were the lower bids, Kim?
What Bill did, he kind of grouped them together. So if you look at, the sheet's kind of hard to read because it's kind of small, but the bids were kind of all over the place as far as low bidder, and what we were trying to do was group them so that the stuff, like items were near each other. So that's why River Oaks got all the cemeteries and the cannon and the administration building and the green space. And then Pro Works got the fire station, and then they got all the right of ways. So we kind of kept all that together. And then Tyndall's Lawn got the bigger parks. So like Hopewell Meadows, Symmes Park, and Home of the Brave. And then Brian Christian got all the other parks.
Okay.
So
there are several new, shall we say, vendors, or,
right.
than what I'm used to. Is that because of
Yes.
pricing? And do we have any research done on can they do the job in a manner in which we'd like for it to be done?
Yes. Bill called all of their references, so he verified all their references and all their work that they've done in the past. The grass company that we had before, we wanted to make a change.
Okay. The ones that were doing our cemeteries before have been doing them for a good number of years, and we're very careful going around headstones and everything else. I'd like to be assured that any new vendor, if you will, is going to do just as good a job. So
Yeah, so
I'm a little concerned about the change is all.
Yeah, we've explained that to them, so we'll keep an eye on them.
Okay, thank you.
And back in December when we brought this up, I wanted to see other options. Like, what if we hired somebody part-time? We could save a lot of money, because this seems to me like it's very expensive.
Yeah.
We didn't go with the person is because we're adding to the list of part-time employees, which adds to our count of 20. And then if they stop working for us, then we have to pay them unemployment. That's why we just kept it with a contractor instead.
If you take a college student and you put him on a lawnmower, walk behind or something, you don't have to pay them unemployment.
Yeah, you do if they file for it.
If they're just part-time summer help, if that's what you list them as.
I think the only way you can keep away from that is, I think the only way you can keep away from that, Jody, is if we go with contracts.
Okay,
Right.
So I don't understand that. So if my kids have a part-time summer job, when they leave that part-time summer job, they can file unemployment. if they're
Yep.
just hired as a part-time summer job, what it's listed as.
Yep. Yeah, because we had an employee that did it to us when I first started working here. He was a part-time seasonal help, and he filed unemployment and he got it.
Really? Jeff, is that true?
I'm going to tell you, I'm not an expert on unemployment rules when it comes to part-time seasonal help. We can look into and review it, but I would defer to Kim. If it actually happened, then, I mean, that's probably
Happened
your
in
best answer right
2017.
there.
All
Yeah, it
right.
happened in 2017.
But I would, okay, I'll go along, but I would like to look at this next year because cutting grass is awful expensive. If there's other ways that we can save money by not contracts with all this, I mean, heck, 65,000?
Hey, Kim, refresh my memory. When we first did this and doing the contracting out 2 or 3 years ago, didn't we do a cost comparison for doing in-house versus farming out? Much like what Jody would like to see now.
Yeah, it has gotten more expensive, no doubt about that.
Well, we were doing a lot more of it too. I mean, we were mowing areas at interstate interchanges with with ODOT really liked for us to do it because they cut it once or twice a year, whether it needed it or not. And we wanted it mowed more often than that. So I know that we went up in costing and so on. So I don't know that we ever did an apples to apples cost effective study for the comparison.
3 years ago that we did
Yeah,
it.
but when you hire people and so on, you bring them on. If they're full time, obviously you're paying all kinds of benefits and things for it, which is why you go with a contractor. But if they're part time, it begs the question, like Jody's asking.
What about equipment that we would need?
Well, we have a fair amount of equipment that we keep replacing as needed. We're not mowing, are we, Kim?
Well, the only thing we do mow, I think, is we mow Shore Park and then we mow Camp Dennison Nature Trail.
Now, what about the Mead property?
The Mead property it would be given to,
Okay.
Yeah.
It's contract.
Mm-hmm.
it would be Brian Christian. Sure.
Okay.
All right. So can we work on this for next year?
Yeah, we can, but just so you know, if we hire that person, it's going to put us at 20, which is going to put us over the amount for health insurance. That's why we've always just not done it.
Okay. But I'm still saying it's very expensive. So can we work on this maybe to find alternative ways? I mean,
I think you're right.
I know I started late in the season when I asked a month ago if we could find alternatives. And I realize you have to lock into a contract now so you can cut grass. And so I was a little late to the show. But can we be innovative or think out of the box on ways to cut this grass cutting back? It just seems really good to me.
Okay. I think it's appropriate for us to do a cost value analysis on this topic going forward. Okay, can we add that to your list, Kim?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. With respect to approval of the motion, we have moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. I move approval of Resolution G 2021-14, a resolution authorizing the purchase of turnout gear and various other equipment from Honeywell and other vendors in an amount not to exceed $25,000.
Second?
Okay, discussion? I'll ask the question I ask every year. This is January. January, February. This is about the same order of magnitude as we do every year for turnout gear, and we are in the collaborative, so we're keeping our costs down.
Yes, sir. It's the same investment that we've had probably for the last 10 years on turnout gear. And we're actually working with the collaborative now to rebid, if you will, the equipment to try to even reduce that price. We have a couple vendors who are seeking the business, and so we're looking to try to get a better deal, even the one that we're getting now with the collaborative.
Okay, well, as long as they can meet your standards.
Yes, they'll definitely meet the specifications, but again, we're still working on that. I don't expect anything back from that for about the next 30 to 45 days.
Okay, well, it's in an amount not to exceed, and it's similar to what we've done for the last 10 years, so.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Question.
Yes.
Chief, could you briefly define turnout gear?
Yeah, boots, helmets, structural turnout gear, gloves, Nomex hoods, coats, pants, turnout gear, coats and pants, helmets, and boots.
Thank you.
Also, ANSI required EMS coats, bloodborne pathogen type coats that the paramedics are required to wear on EMS calls. Fortunately, they don't take the abuse that turnout gear takes, so EMS coats are not necessarily needing to be replaced that often.
Okay. Don't we have more than one set of turnout gear so it can be cleaned in between?
Yes, the township and the city started a couple years ago because of firefighter cancer and the new state law on the cancer presumption, providing 2 sets of turnout gear to every firefighter so that once they're contaminated, they're brought back to the station and decontaminated. And in the meantime, they'd have to have a second set of turnout gear to wear while that turnout gear is decontaminated and washed and dried.
Is that okay, Joe?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I think it's a good question and a good answer. We all get educated this way.
Right.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Okay. I move approval of Resolution G 2021-15, a resolution authorizing the township administrator to enter into a contract with Fawn Filter Accounting Services to perform accounting services not to exceed $5,250.
Second.
Discussion. I think that, go ahead.
Okay. Joe, is it to balance our budget? Everyone? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We talked about this in our work session, and I asked if we could get a feeling instead of being open-ended as to how much a ceiling or how much this might cost us. And I think this is Kim and the accountant's estimate as to what it would take to reconcile.
Okay.
I like having numbers instead of open-ended. So, any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2021-16, a resolution authorizing the township administrator to enter into an agreement with Team All Sports to treat Stonebridge Park and the ball fields at Home of the Brave Park and install limestone screening materials in the warning track in the amount of $46,443.87.
Second.
Okay, I think Phil beat you, Jody,
Okay.
just for the record. Okay. When we say treatment, to treat Stonebridge Park, that's fertilizer what?
It's for Stonebridge, it's early spring application, late spring, early summer. broadcast overseed, early fall application, late fall application, and core aeration service.
Okay, so it's all fertilizer and equivalents.
Yep.
Okay, but on Home of the Brave Park, we're talking about limestone screening materials on the warning track.
Yep. So remember how we talked about last year and how the warning track, it's made out of dirt, and right now every
Yeah.
time it rains,
Yeah,
it
we have
floods
erosion.
into the dugout. So it's eroding into the dugout. So we talked last year about replacing all the warning tracks with that limestone. So the second estimate is for the first estimate Stonebridge, and then the second estimate is for Home of the Brave ball fields and replacing the warning track.
Okay. Any other discussion?
No, sounds like we need it.
Roll call?
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye. I move approval of Resolution G 2021-17, a resolution authorizing Township Administrator to enter into an agreement with River Oak Services LLC for the lawn treatment and insect control in various locations in the amount of $17,337.50.
Okay.
Okay. Discussion? Kim, can you tell us what you're really doing here? I think someone else,
Yep, so
Brian Christian, had been doing insect control and so on, hadn't they?
no, the River Oaks has always done it for us. Brian Christian does the trees.
Oh,
So
okay.
this one is, it's various other locations for the lawn treatment. So this would be, I'm sorry, insect control would be the admin building, Kerr Cemetery, Mead Park, the Safety Center, Union Cemetery, and Stonebridge Park. And then the lawn care maintenance would be the admin building, Blong, Symmes Park, Symmes Safety Center, Union Cemetery, Kerr Cemetery, Camp Dennison Cemetery, and Home of the Brave Park. So the rest of Home of the Brave. So not, the other parts excluding the ball fields.
Okay. And then let me ask one question. Why is Seven Gables Park not on any lawn treatment program?
I don't know. We can ask Bill.
Okay. The reason I ask that is I walk that park a lot, and there's nothing but dandelions over there in the spring and summer.
Okay.
Okay. So just ask Bill. In the meantime, any other discussion on this one?
Mhm.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Okay, I move approval of Resolution G 2021-18, a resolution authorizing Township Administrator to purchase security cameras for Home of the Brave Park in the amount of $17,481.07.
Second.
Discussion.
We're just like slowly adding to our parks, right, Kim?
Right. So this is for Home of the Brave. We talked about this last month at our work session.
Yes,
So
we
it's to
did.
get cameras. I think, shoot, I don't have the map attached to it, but we were going to put cameras on the maintenance building so that we were able to shoot the ball fields and shoot like over where the memorial wall is, and then put cameras on the air shelter over the splash pad, so that we can kind of shoot out where the ball fields are and then get the splash pad and all the playground and the outlying areas. So that'll give us coverage.
And these are being monitored from the call center?
Right. Yep.
Yes, sir, they are. All the cameras and all of the township parks are on our new wall in the 911 center.
Okay, one question. How close to capacity are we? If we're planning on adding cameras all the time to our parks? And I believe me, I understand why. The vandalism can get out of hand.
I'm not sure I understand the question. How close are we to capacity?
Yeah, I mean, how many channels can you monitor there, and are we
Well,
close?
we just no, so we just changed to the Genetech system, and a new video wall was installed in the communication center that takes up almost an entire wall. That was purchased with COVID funds through the city of Loveland. So all of the cameras and all of the parks are onto that new system, so that we're able to. We have pretty much an extensive amount of capacity to add additional cameras as we need to.
Okay. I hope that you guys will let us know if we ever get close to capacity.
We will, sir. And also, for your edification, we're able to put an application on the trustees' phones, so you can watch those cameras at any time you wish to from anywhere that you have your phone for any park and any security camera that we have on the system, including the safety centers, the sheriff's department, anywhere where we have a township camera, you're able to access that from your phone.
Okay. How about my front doorbell?
If you would give us permission, we can access that, sir.
Okay.
Question,
I just said that tongue in cheek. So
I know that we have some moving cameras, like we were putting them up on the Mead Trail every once in a while. Are we still doing that? Kim? Kim?
We have not done that, but if you want me to put those back up, I will.
Yeah, because I noticed the other day that
Yep.
there was a window broken at the log home. And so I don't know if that was vandalized or, the wind hit something that knocked it down. So, yeah, we probably should put some cameras up at Mead randomly to catch
Okay.
somebody.
Those are like deer cameras, aren't they, Kim? That they film in place, and then we go look at the tapes.
Yeah.
Okay. Jody, it was a little bit garbled when you were saying which window was broken where.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
The log home at home
Oh,
of
the log house. Okay, gotcha.
Mead property, one of the windows was broken, I noticed the other day. So I don't know if it was vandalized or something, the wind blew and it broke. I'm not sure. So I don't want to say it was vandalized unless I know for sure. But I was thinking that we might want to put those cameras up randomly just in case.
Okay. Kim, why don't you give us some kind of a plan as to what you recommend, and then we can look at it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay, this is going to be tough to read, guys. I move approval of the following expenditures and authorization for the township administrator to sign necessary contracts / agreements or paperwork. A, amend the following. Fund 2021-30-360, a gas fund, add $5,000 to make a final appropriation of $25,000. Second one, amend fund account number 2172-610-360, Rossi Park Fund, to add $41,675 to make a final appropriation of $81,675. Next item, amend fund account number 2041-410-360, Cemetery Fund, add $14,400 to make a final appropriation of $69,170. And amend fund account number 1000-110-311, the General Fund, add $5,250 to make a final appropriation of $55,250. Item B, move to amend the following expenditure then and now. $1,342.97 to J.R. Grundy Plumbing. Amend following expenditure then and now, $798.76 for Hamilton County Regional Planning Commission. Item D, amend the following expenditure then and now, $255 for Burnham and Flowers. And amend item E, expenditure of $1,087.92, $1,087.92, or equivalent of $90.60 a month for Pitney Bowes machine rental. And item F, to amend Choice One Engineering by $1,200 increase for a landscaping plan for Belong Park.
Second.
Any discussion?
I know the landscape plan from for the park. We talked to the bank and they are willing to help us with that. So we're just getting an idea of how much it would cost so we can talk to them. First Financial.
Okay.
Good.
They have a 50% commitment still, I hope.
We don't know 50, but we have to see what we want to do. And then they said they'd be willing to help us, but he didn't guarantee 50.
Okay. Kim, I'm going to add to your work list. I'm going to ask you to go back and look at the contract with us and the bank on Belong Memorial Park and see if we have it in writing that it's a 50% split.
We could not sign an agreement. So
When I talked to him, he was very nice and he was very willing. So I don't see a problem. He was like, "Are you going to make me pay for 100% of it?" And I'm like, "Probably not 100." I mean, he was thinking that he was going to be paying for all of it. So
Okay.
I go back. Let's see what we have and how much it is, and we'll negotiate with him.
Okay, that sounds fair. We all are under the understanding that they had pretty much 100% occupancy in that parking lot up there. But now that they've moved their corporate offices to Governor's Hill, that parking area is near empty. When I went through it the other day, there were only 2 cars in there. One, I assume, was bank parking, and one, people were having a picnic on the table up there.
Good.
That's
So,
good.
yeah. Okay. Any particular items here anybody's interested in, else is concerned about? Okay, then I'll ask roll call.
Ms. Fleece,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. Okay, I'm going to go back now and see if CJ wants to chime in, and we'll give him an opportunity of hearing from residents. CJ? Well, I got a text that says I'm here, but we still can't
says
hear you.
he's here.
Okay, you're going to email Kim a document. Is this something that we can deal with tonight, or is it something she can respond to offline? Yes, to read tonight. How do we get that, Kim?
I guess Ken can read it.
He's gonna have to. I'm not at my work desk. I'll see if I can get it off my iPad.
Can you just email it to Ken and Ken can read it? Since he's president? Sorry, Ken. Hey, Rob, can we figure out why he can't speak and so we can make sure we solve this for next time?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we still don't have video from him either, Rob.
Well, yeah. Okay. Sure, that would be great.
Okay, I'm trying to pull it up now.
While we're waiting on that document, did we want to have a discussion about the great Easter egg hunt? Are we going to be able to pull this off?
Well, I was thinking that we're
I just
probably
didn't
not
know what you guys.
put off. Okay, this is mine. It's up to you guys. But since we're probably not going to be able to pull it off because of COVID, I was thinking maybe we should save that money and do something else with it. Like have a like when COVID's over, have like a fun little festival or something in the park when we all don't have to wear masks or it's considered herd immunity or something like that. So I was hoping that we would just not do an Easter egg hunt and save the money and use it for something to celebrate that this all is over.
I'm in favor of that from the following standpoint. We planned to do it last year, bought the candy, stuffed the eggs, and did everything. But recall, this is really in March last year when we started shutting down due to COVID. And as a result, we never did it. We had all the candy and stuff. We were going to do something with it later when we got out of COVID, but we never did, and we still haven't. So I'm with Jody in regards to let's just don't do it this year and save the money.
So for the candy from the hunt, we used it for Halloween. So we did pass out the candy. And I think we might have saved some of the toys. I'm not sure, but it didn't go to waste. We used what we could.
But yeah, I agree with both of you. I just worry the timing's not going to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Too dangerous.
I think it's a good question. Okay.
So I got my marching orders on that. How about, do you guys have any particular strong feelings about the Memorial Day event that we do?
I'm worried about that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a speaker who, Senator Lou Terahar. He's a Navy Academy graduate, Navy retired officer, and one of our state senators and state representatives both. He was willing to be our guest speaker this year. But to your point, Kim, I worry about any sort of gathering like that, and particularly that event tends to draw an older crowd, which is also, maybe not such a good idea.
I agree. I think until we can see our way through this COVID scenario, that any of our high attendance kind of scenarios are really risky.
Well, we're hoping for fall for Symmes. That we'll be able to do fall for Symmes. That's at least what I'm hoping.
Yeah. What about 4th of July? I mean.
Well, weren't we talking with Audra?
I had responded to Audra that we would.
Yeah, in answer to
I had responded to Audra, we budgeted for it.
Yeah, we talked about that. We liked the social distancing of the 4th of July fireworks last year, and I think we're all interested in doing it again.
I think it turned out. I think the fire did a great job, and the fireworks are really nice. And I know a ton of people watched it. So I think that's definitely worthwhile.
I like the way that we got the maps out as the places to go and so on, got that out early enough to the public such that it was a well-attended event in your own vehicle kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see the chat through what CJ wrote? He said, he said the log house was vandalized and that rocks were thrown through windows, the shed was broken into, and tools through windows.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
Okay.
See ya. We saw you there for a minute, but you went away.
Yeah, I was trying to see I guess you have to change all the settings with this new Zoom meet. I had to download stuff and everything to start tonight that I never had to do before.
Okay.
Yes, the log house was vandalized. Some decorative rocks, I guess, that were placed along the trail by residents.
Ouch.
One was thrown through the window. The storage shed was broken into. They grabbed tools out of the storage shed, threw those through the back window. So there's multiple windows that are busted out over there now.
Okay, but there were, because I walk it a lot, there were other windows that were broken before this. I mean,
Right.
I now know that one was broken out, but over the years, I noticed when one was broken, you would just take tape over the window, and that's how you fixed it. So I guess we need a plan to take care of the log home.
We're probably going to have to put
No,
shutters
say that
over the windows.
I mean, I get comments from people because people think it belongs to us. And that, like, why the roof looks like it's leaking, the windows are broken, there's a lot of termite damage, I noticed too. And people have made comments to me. And I know back in the fall, I emailed you and asked you if you would like to come into the township so we could talk about taking care of the log home. And you never respond. You responded, "I'll get back to you," and you never got back to me.
And trying to set something up with everything going on, yes, it didn't happen. The roof issue is a warranty issue that we're working on with the company that put it up. That's probably become an insurance issue.
But that roof has been there for 2 or 3 years like that.
And that's been an issue that they're fighting back and forth with the roofing company that supplied the shakes. Those are 50-year shakes that we paid to have put on that roof that are supposed to last for 50 years. And the shakes and or the stainless steel nails do not work together, which is what was told to be put on there. And the shakes are rotting, which I met with the roof guy out there 2 weeks ago about that issue to get that straightened out, that we may have to take through insurance to claim that. With the windows have been replaced. Every time we replace them, they get broken back out. There is glass slung from the front window to the back window and through the back window all over the floor in there where it was vandalized this last time. They broke into the shed out back also.
But I also want to mention too, then that one time this year, did the Historical Society clean up the area around the log cabin? So there was weeds and bushes and things that were overgrown in that area. And that's why I contact you, because I was willing and the township was willing to help you with it, but no one bothered to respond to us. And you let that log cabin or the log home go over the summer totally untaken care of. Not one weed, not one bush was cut, nothing. So I really want to work with the Historical Society, but I feel like I reached out to you, specifically you, CJ, and you didn't even bother to take the time to respond to me. You said, I'll get back to you, and that was it.
I responded back. I tried to get people together.
I will get back to you. And that was all you responded to me. You never responded after that. And all I wanted to do was get a cleanup plan for that log home, because that log home is not being taken care of. There's termite damage there. And as a township, that is a beautiful piece for the township. I love walking my dogs back there. Park usage, I keep saying, is up 80%. And people love that log home back there. But they comment to me that it's not being taken care of. And it's not. The windows are broken. So when the window gets broken, you take Scotch tape and you just tape up the hole. Or the roof, it has to be leaking. You could have put something up there temporarily until you could have got the insurance company to fix it. You know, you could have gotten back there with a weed whacker over the summer and cut the bushes. That's all I wanted to talk to you about. I was willing to go back there with you, but I was afraid to do it because I know how the Historical Society sometimes is possessive over that. But I would have taken a head trimmer and trimmed the bushes for you. I mean, they were growing over the windows. I mean, you barely could see part of the log home because everything had grown up so much. So I would
Okay.
really like you to come in and let's talk about how we're going to take care of the log cabin because it's not being taken care of.
I will set up a time with you tomorrow. We will sit down, meet on that issue, discuss that issue, because this is also a two-way street too. We would more than be happy to
To you,
be
CJ,
involved, not you, not
and I
you.
asked you to come to the township so we could work something out. I extended the hand. You did not respond. It's
We,
not a way street because I went out of my way because I wanted to help you and I wanted to work on the building. And you didn't even have the respect to get back to me, except I'll get back to you. That's all I heard.
Okay.
it's
Right
not just
now,
me running the
or
historical society.
Okay, all right, look, I think everybody's had to say in this regard, and I think what we need to do is get together, get a plan going forward. To Jody's point, we need a plan and we need your input, CJ.
Okay.
And we're willing to discuss this with you. Do you have
I-
anything else on the agenda that you want to talk about tonight?
nice.
Yes, I do. I will set up a time, try to tomorrow. We will set up a time, meet here in the next week or two and get things rolling on this issue
Okay,
so that we
What's
can address
next?
it and move forward.
what's next?
The reason I was wanting to talk tonight, it's kind of a last minute thing, but everything's come up at the last minute. I assume the township and the trustees are aware of a petition filed with the Hamilton County Engineer's Office and the Hamilton County Commissioners for a vacation of a portion of Willow Drive in Symmes Township, vacating the road.
I recall seeing that, but I don't know what the disposition of that is because I missed the December meetings and I think that's when it came up. So I'm going to need some guidance, I guess, from Kim as to who's petitioning to have Willow vacated and what are the consequences.
I don't remember it coming up in the December meeting, but I received a letter in the mail today that was dated January 27th from the Hamilton County Engineer's Office, basically stating that the Knights of the Golden Trail are asking for a portion of Willow Road to be vacated. The letter states that the portion to be vacated is dedicated but not accepted, which is a separate issue. And that if I had any objections to it, write the county prior to February 26th, or else they're going to move forward with it and proceed with the vacation process.
All right.
Basically what the letter stated.
I believe I misspoke. It was, it had to come up in December sometime. Is that what I said, or did I say January?
December.
I think it was an email to the township from the county on vacating Willow Road, and it came to the township, but I don't know what our response to that was.
What is the opinion of the trustees in vacating roads and, in this case, Willow?
I think before I make a statement declaring my position, I would like to know the facts. Who is asking for it? Why? What do they want out of it? What's the benefit or detriment to the township before I can respond?
Right. And how the people around it feel.
Well, in speaking with many of our neighbors here in the neighborhood, everyone I've spoken to objects to the vacation of the right-of-way for multiple reasons.
Okay, here's a suggestion, CJ. Since evidently you've done the survey, why don't you get the survey responses and send them to the township so that we can take our own view on it?
Is a individual trustee comment to the county engineer and the commissioners the same as a denial or recommendation letter from the board of trustees?
I don't think so.
I guess what I'm saying is if you guys as trustees do it individually for or against, is that the same as the board making a decision for or against because they put
No.
a cutoff on February
No.
26th?
It takes majority rule. 2 of the 3 of us have to agree to a position.
Right, and they've put a deadline on this of February 26th, or
I
else
would
they
think-
will proceed with the
Okay,
vacation.
I think we can meet that deadline if we
Okay.
get the information.
Okay. I believe Kim got some information I just forwarded to her, and that's something additionally I can work with you and Kim on in the upcoming weeks here for the 26th date.
Okay. We're not in a position to just vacating streets, dedicated or undedicated, just to do it. There has to be some logic behind it that's beneficial to the township, or we understand any detriment before we would take action.
Okay. And I always, in previous, believed that it started with the township.
Well, actually, it's the county office. It's not us.
What was that?
No, it starts with the county engineer's office. They're the ones that have the purview over street vacations.
And then it comes back to the township for their approval or disapproval.
That is correct. We get input.
No,
My only,
input, but we
only-
don't get to approve or deny it.
So we can send a letter saying we're opposed to it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the county engineer would listen to us. Right, Kim?
Right.
Right. Okay.
So I suggest that they collectively send letters themselves to the county engineer's office and oppose it, because more voices together is going to be, I think it's going to be heard louder than just from the township, in my own opinion.
yeah. But if you want the trustees to take a position on it, we need to have the input from the residents. And if you've already surveyed them, you've done us a service.
And so the residents also should write letters to the engineers.
That's correct. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I will then move forward with that in the township here and, the upcoming week here, and so we can get all this done before the 26th deadline.
Right. DJ, the that you're talking to need to understand that the trustees are not making the decision. The county engineer makes the decision. Now, we can write a letter opposing it, but we are not the ones making the decision in this. They are. So the letters have to go to them, not necessarily us. I mean, I think you should maybe copy us, but they're the ones making the decisions, not the trustees.
I agree with Jody. I agree, CJ, with Jody that that's the right thing, but it would help for the trustees to understand what the residents of Symmes Township want and believe, for you just to forward the comments from them, and then each of those individually send a letter off to the Hamilton County Engineer, Eric Beck, expressing their opinion.
Right, and like I said, this just came to light to residents yesterday and today through the mail. So it's the last minute. It's dated the 27th of January, but it just started showing up in mailboxes yesterday.
Okay.
And today. So that's why I say it's last minute. This is the only scheduled meeting of the trustees this month. So yeah, it's last minute put together, bring it to everybody's attention so that we can take care of and move forward this month on this issue.
I think that can happen.
So I will be in correspondence, I guess, with Kim as to, moving things forward or who needs what and so on and so forth. And it does state in the letter to send any objections directly to Hamilton County.
Okay.
We were just looking for the support of the trustees to stand behind us also, that opposition to vacating this road. I know the trustees, the county owns the road or has the say on the road, and the township has some type of say too, but the final decision is the county commissioners.
So
Yes.
who's asking for the road to be vacated and why? Do we know that?
The property is owned on both sides of the road by the Loveland Castle and Knights of the Golden Trail. They last year consolidated a large portion of the property together, which gave them 4.95 acres. there's really no reason to vacate this right of way. They do own property on the other side of the street. This right of way goes through the middle of woods. And really the only intention that can be seen for vacating this road would be to make the property larger so that they can bring more driveways and roads and more traffic down through there with buses, which they've been trying to do for years, which would access off of two roads up here right through the middle of the neighborhood up here.
Okay.
Because it's woods. It's just vacant, unattended woods with a road through, with a paper road through the middle of it. A vacated,
All right.
dedicated road.
I don't want to cut you off, but I think you made your point. You brought it to our attention, which is what we are asking for when we hear from residents. You bring up issues that you're familiar with that maybe we're not, and we try and develop our own understanding and then take action accordingly.
Okay. Thank you, and I will move forward with this in the coming days then.
Okay. Anything else?
That was it for me. Thank
Okay.
you for the second hearing here to get this straightened out, to figure out what was going on.
Well, we're all going through some of this stuff ourselves. Okay, so we have to attempt to do what's the right thing to do. So thank you. Appreciate your input.
Thank you.
Can I say one more thing before we move on? I
Yep.
just want to, everyone knows in the township, I say this every meeting, that if anybody needs help, if anybody needs anything at all, please contact the township. Please contact me, Ken or Phil. We would be happy. Joe, I know, would be happy to do anything that you needed us to do. I know this is a difficult time in the township and the world. I just want to make sure everyone knows that we're all in this together and we're willing to help you any way we can.
Okay. Anything else? I didn't see it on the agenda, and we're finished with hearing from residents. I move that we go into executive session under ORC section 121.22 G1 to consider the compensation and employment of a public employee or official.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Okay, the trustees should have a button on their chart that we can enter into a chat room, a breakout room. It should pop up on your face.
Yes.
Mine's jumping up here. So we can go, the three trustees can go into executive session, and anyone else that wants to stick around until we come out. I don't know that we'll be taking any action this evening. So if you want to leave the meeting, feel free to do so. If you want to stay until we're done, you'll probably have just a screen that says we're in executive session until we come out. Anything else? I'm going to join the breakout room.
Where'd Ken go? Did he disconnect himself?
I don't know.
Good.
Thank you. There he is.
Yeah, I had to wait till the countdown 2-minute warning popped up, you know, called timeout and all that kind of stuff. Gallery view. Okay, we still have people here. Let the record state that at 9:07, we adjourned from executive session and returned to the regular meeting. Other than that, we've decided to take no further action this evening, and we're going to, I move to adjourn.
Second.
A roll call?
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay. Hey, Rob, I know you're kind of sitting there listening. I want to thank you for setting all this up, including the executive session. It's all new learning for all of us, and we appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I guess you can close it now. We've adjourned.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Take care.